Sometimes we just can't bring ourselves to finish a TV series. We might tune out of a comedy because we just don't find it funny, or give up on a drama because we don't care about the characters.
But sometimes we have to abandon a show just because it's too disturbing.
There's nothing more disturbing than good old-fashioned human cannibalism. Who knows what we'd succumb to if we had no other choice, trapped without food, like the plane crash survivors in the movie Alive? But Hannibal the cannibal? Yeah, he eats people because he likes it. Also, he's a psychopath.
He's had a mild seizure.
That doesn't seem to bother you.
I said it was mild.
NBC's Hannibal aired for 3 seasons and was so bloody and disturbing that one newspaper op-ed led to its disappearance from one of the network's Utah affiliates. The Salt Lake Tribune's TV critic chronicled the show's various horrors, describing, among other gleefully gory scenes, quote, "The naked body of a woman impaled on antlers, bodies carved up so that their backs are splayed like grotesque angel wings,
Characters dining on human body parts, people buried alive, covered in compost and fed sugar water so they grow fungus all over their bodies."
So yeah, if you had to give up on this one in order to save your soul or your stomach, we understand. Sadly, HBO's limited series Sharp Objects, based on the novel of the same name by Gone Girl scribe Gillian Flynn, isn't likely coming back for a second season. But even if you couldn't make it through the first because of how discomforting it was, you'd definitely be totally forgiven.
Hey, Mama, what's going on?
Stop it!
Is she all right?
She's scared. She's lashing out. She just saw 2 of her friends murdered.
Amy Adams stars in the series as Camille Parker, a crime reporter who returns to her hometown to try to solve the murder of 2 young girls. The premise alone is pretty disturbing, but Camille's self-destructive behavior adds a whole other layer that might be a bit triggering for people who have experienced similar issues. The series features such heavy topics as alcoholism, addiction, self-harm, and human brutality. Patricia Clarkson co-stars as Camille's mother, whose dysfunctional relationship with her daughters adds an even more bone-chilling creep factor that may just be too much for some viewers.
I think you should leave. I'm here on a social visit. Your presence here is inappropriate.
We weren't done talking.
Yes, you are.
Remember all those old-timey monster movies from when you were a kid? Well, Showtime's Penny Dreadful takes those characters you loved growing up and twists them into a disturbing and bingeable gothic horror TV series.
The night creatures have been eating. A sight it would have been. Don't you think, sir?
The show features a handful of beloved literary characters, like the mysterious Dorian Gray, Count Dracula, Victor Frankenstein, and his creature, and Dr. Jekyll. But while the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen brought all of these characters together and made it fun, Penny Dreadful aims to scare and disturb. The series visits the hellscape that was 19th century mental institutions, touches on seances and the supernatural, and features tons and tons of blood. So it's totally understandable if you'd rather watch Sean Connery romp around the League, or even Hugh Jackman's action take on Van Helsing. At least those won't make you feel like losing your lunch. Created by Charlie Booker, Netflix's Black Mirror is much like The Twilight Zone or The Outer Limits, telling an assortment of stories in an anthology format. So if one episode of Black Mirror freaks you out, it's quite possible that the next will as well. And the next. And the next.
Mom! 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 Mom!
The most disturbing thing about Black Mirror is how close to home it feels. While other shows on this list are set in supernatural environments or focused on singular disturbing characters, many of the episodes of Black Mirror feel like they could actually happen in the near future. By focusing on technology and how it shapes the way we live, the series is able to predict some of our worst nightmares and offers up scenarios that have terrifying results. It's understandable if the premise of the show has you avoiding your beloved gadgets like the plague. After tuning in for so many messed up shows about serial killers, you might think it a good idea to revisit some good old gothic ghost stories. But if you're looking for a fun romp and not to be scared out of your wits, don't turn to Netflix's The Haunting of Hill House. The show offers up both jump scares and an imposing, creepy feeling of impending dread. Based on the 1959 novel of the same name by horror fiction master Shirley Jackson, the series follows a set of siblings whose lives are forever damaged by their time spent living at the notorious Hill House. The story jumps back and forth between multiple time periods, and its non-linear nature contributes to the universe it creates, especially in that episode. Yeah, you know which one we're talking about.
It's time to wake up, sweetheart.
But if you can make it through the disturbing glimpses of ghosts, murders, hauntings, and general horror, then you're in for a surprisingly touching tale of one family's struggle to escape their dark past in hope of a stable future. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.